Everyone, welcome to this Thanksgiving edition of the Morning Huddle. I'm your host, Devin Roy, and this is a very special show, not just because it's Thanksgiving, but because I have my son on with me, Devin Roy II, or as I like to call him, Devin Roy 2.0.
I need to embody that name.
Huh?
But I need to embody that name, Devin 2.0.
Oh, you absolutely do. So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We're going to be talking about your YouTube channel, and let's kind of get into it now. First of all, what's your YouTube channel called?
It's called the Young Equity Solutions Podcast, and we're just trying to, teach the youth and the younger generation about building generational wealth and, teaching financial literacy and, making people aware of financial gains and financial freedom.
Yeah. So what was the inspiration for starting the channel?
So a little bit about my background. As you know, I went back to school and I got my MBA in finance. And so ever since 2017, I have been investing in the stock market, and I've been trying to get involved with real estate as well. I play with a little bit of Bitcoin, but not too much to where I would lose out on anything crazy. But so with that being said, I gained some knowledge of investing, and it became a hobby and a passion of mine. So Chris, who is the co-host, came up with an idea of starting a YouTube channel. And, during the pandemic, I feel like a lot of people have come out with, ideas of how they're going to be entrepreneurs or tap into skills that they want, or, become someone and reinvent themselves. So I thought it was a good idea to, join the podcast with him. So he hit me up via social media, like, my generation tends to do. And we started working on the podcast, and, we bought some equipment, and he has a MacBook. So, I do the audio and he does the editing, and it's worked out ever since.
Yeah. The equipment looks really good, by the way. Show looks great. Looks professional. Okay, Mo just joined the show, and you two need to connect. He's the ideal person for your show.
Okay.
And Mo, you should check out Devin's show. It's Young Equity Solutions on YouTube. So check him out. He's going to be, So let's talk about a few things. What are some things you talk about on the show?
We talk about how to build your credit. So when I first started out, I got a credit card at 18. I was trying to make a purchase at Dillard's, and I wanted the discount for a gift that I was trying to get for my mom or whatever. And one of the coworkers that I worked with was like, "Hey man, all you gotta do is just get a credit card, and you get this discount or whatever." And at 18, I had to rebuild my credit. I had some missed payments on there, so I feel like the youth need to learn more about credit, and also how to purchase a home. I've bought 2 homes in the past 2 years. So I talked about that process. Also talk about 401k planning, future planning, getting involved with investing in the stock market. I talk about investing in real estate through Fundrise, which is a REIT account, and you don't have to have the liability of actually owning the real estate and taking on maintenance costs. So you're just investing in a trust or a fund. We just talk about all aspects of finance, loaning money to family or friends, and we try to tap into everything.
Is that a good idea? No.
It just depends on who you're loaning the money to. If I see loaning money as a gift, and I have a threshold for loaning money because I don't think that I'll ever receive the money back.
Okay. Got it. What's been the response?
As of right now, we average probably anywhere from 20 to 40 views. We're building our subscribers right now. Last week we had 50. This week we have 61. So we're still launching, and getting off the ground. But overall, I think pretty good reviews so far. A lot of feedback on Instagram. I'm trying to build that platform, become more personable and connect with people that are, also in the finance field. So
Yeah.
they seem to like it. So that's about it.
Your cousin Jeffrey's on it. The only loan you can afford to never see it again. Okay.
Exactly. Whatever that threshold may be. If it's $250 and I loan it to my friend, I know I'm not going to get it back. And if I do get it, hey, I'm excited.
All right, someone thinks we're twins. Yeah, yes, he is my son. This is Devin Roy II, Devin Roy 2.0. So you talked a lot about the things you talk about. You talked about some of the responses you're getting. What's been some learnings that you've taken away from this? What are some insights you can share with others since you've taken on this endeavor?
You really tap into a character sometimes. So you hop on camera and you encompass a totally different person. And maybe it's somebody that was inside of you that you didn't know was a part of who you are as a character. So I've learned how to tap into becoming a personality. On top of that, I've learned different skills like how to, edit audio and make the sound crisp. I also know how to do Ken Burns, which is an editing tool for editing videos. Also making sure the lighting is okay, making sure the equipment looks good. Just small details that I've learned and, different skills that I've picked up. So that's kind of the takeaway from it. If I don't become a podcast or a YouTube personality, I can at least become maybe a public speaker or a motivator or a politician. So.
All right. I like that last one, politician. Let's do it. All right. So what, in terms of the equipment you purchase and the software you're using, what do you recommend if someone's trying to start their channel?
Yeah. Honestly, invest in a MacBook. It comes with iMovie. It also comes with GarageBand. So we use GarageBand for the audio, and we were using iMovie, but Chris and I upgraded to Final Cut Pro, and we were able to get a pretty good deal off of that. You find deals from Craigslist or wherever. You might be able to find it online, but we had a pretty good rate for that. So I would just advise someone to invest in a MacBook. It doesn't have to be the newest MacBook. Spend a good $500 and invest in your podcast YouTube career.
Okay. Someone's asking, did you study finance?
Yes, I did. Yes, I went to the University of Houston, and I got my MBA in finance.
Okay. Good question, Mo. What are the questions you guys have for Devin Roy II? Here talking about his YouTube channel, Young Equity Solutions, where he's talking about just really how to be financially literate, right? That's basically what it's about, right?
Correct. And, I regret some of the things that I've done with my money over the years as a younger person.
Don't we all?
Right. And so with that being said, I want to make sure that I can educate people who are either my age or younger or, whoever needs to hear it. But so they don't have those same regrets. And that's kind of where I'm coming from with it. If you invest even $1,000, that's going to pay you dividends in the future. You're going to get compound interest over time. You're also going to see, the rate of return increase. And if you invest in the stock market, you're potentially, people think that.
All right, he's going to type that into the comment section for you guys so you can find him on YouTube. Actually, it's a pretty good show. Good quality, good information. Your audience is, you talked about people around your age or younger or anyone who is not financially literate. This is not for the person who has a lot of experience in stock markets or financial background. This is for people who are sort of low information people with respect to this. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir. So yeah, this is not for your expert. Hey, if your portfolio has 100% return and you've been investing for 10 years, you have a mortgage, or you know everything about, credit and credit scores and credit reports. Fans. I mean, I don't know if that's okay to go into, but we talked about, is that a career option? Yeah, some people want to know. We also talked about, I don't know, we just try to keep it hip and touch into pop culture as well.
Got it. So yeah, and that's great. So you're trying to target a certain audience who perhaps doesn't get this information, right? And they do use social media. They're on YouTube, they're on Instagram, and so they can learn something and be entertained at the same time. That's great. So I had a question and I lost it, just like that.
No worries.
Questions for Devin of Young Equity Solutions about what he's doing and what he and Chris are doing, which is a great show. Any other questions from anyone? So where were we? We're talking about the podcast. Someone asked where else they can find you. I told them they can find you on Instagram. Any other social media platforms you're using?
Not at the moment. We're going to launch a Facebook pretty soon. As of right now, we just have YouTube and Instagram. So that's Young Equity Devin and Young Equity Solutions on Instagram.
Got it. All right. Questions for Young Equity Devin.
Well, let me ask you guys a question. How many of you are investing in the stock market?
That's a good question. I am.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Anyone else investing in the stock market?
Which investments are you making at the moment?
Oh, that's personal.
Is it? Put us on game.
Huh?
Put us on some game.
I am the host.
Okay.
I'm interviewing you.
Well, I mean,
Jeffrey's interview. Jeffrey is investing in the stock market. So, Jeff, tell us, what are you investing in? Hello. Okay, Dina, her husband's investing in the stock market.
good deal.
I want to hear from Jeff. What are you investing in? Okay, I'll tell you about one stock I'm investing. It's called it's SEEL. Look it up.
Okay.
It's a penny stock.
Uh-oh. Okay.
However, it's therapeutics, and it's projected to go to $12.
Okay.
You know, those projections don't mean anything, but
Right.
I think it's a pretty good stock.
Okay, yeah, I have to look that up.
Done a lot of research on it. Check it out.
Okay, I will. As of right now, I'm invested in Palantir, and
Okay.
we give you
So
that.
you guys, hey, hang on, guys. You should write this down. Okay.
We give you guys that ticker. Palantir. Here, I'm on the computer real quick.
So Jeffrey's invested in Walmart and what else?
That's a pretty solid stock.
Dina said Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Bitcoin is solid. The only reason why I don't try to get heavily involved with Bitcoin is because it's a new investment tool, and I feel like it's fueled by FOMO, which is fear of missing out.
Yep.
There's really not a lot of historical data on that, and they didn't really teach that in the MBA program. So, I have a few cryptocurrency, and I try to hop into that wave, but nothing that's gonna, break the bank. So Palantir is something to look out for. It's a technology company. They are producing software, and that is PLTR. I've had a 60% rate of return in 2 days. So that's something to look out for. I would try to enter into that play if you can around $25. Is that, I think, 28 or 29?
So, yeah. Hanan, you're investing in rocket companies. Okay, good luck with that one. It has been trending down for a little bit.
What's that?
Unless you just recently bought it.
Yes. So I'm going to take my gains probably next week. And what I mean taking gains, I'm going to exit that position and make my money. So
there you go. That's what it's about. And that's the thing about me. My whole approach is with the stock market, for me anyway, it's not about the long game. I have 401k for the long game. I have other things I'm trying to do. But stock market for me is how can I make, some quick wins, if you will.
Right.
Getting in and out of stock, catching it while it's hot, getting out of it when it seems like it's getting ready to peter, go down, not day trading per se, but
right.
You know what I'm saying, but
More
staying it long enough to make some money. Yeah, exactly.
Then get out. Yeah.
Right.
So I think Mo, where do we start investing? You can start investing with a virtual investment tool, which Investopedia actually has something that you can log into, and you can start there. They give you virtual money, and you can play with the stock market, learn it. You can do options.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, you could start buying stocks there. That's where I would start. And then once you've reached a certain amount, say you started out with, $10,000 with virtual money, and you start seeing, let's say 10% gains, then you probably have, you have an understanding of the concept, and then you can start out with, as this person says, I'm not sure, was that Hanan? You could use Robinhood, which is great for young investors. I use Robinhood. I also use Webull, but
yeah, us old folks use TD Ameritrade.
Hey, I have a Fidelity account too. So I put my reading glasses on. I look at I got my coffee. So
got it. So let me ask this question. It's one thing to pick a stock, but what's your process for picking a stock?
So in the beginning, I started off with ETF, which is an exchange traded fund. It's a fund that has multiple companies inside of it, and it tracks through the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ. And so that kind of eliminates your risk. So if you're invested in 10 companies and one of those companies has a bad day, the other company might have a good day, that kind of washes out that risk.
Offsets it,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I started off with that, and if the stock had a beta of 1, then I would add it to my portfolio. And when I mean beta, that means it determines the risk. So anything over 1 in the beta is going to be risky. Anything under is going to be less risky. So you try to have an average of 1 in your portfolio. So
okay, now you're talking some wonky terms here.
Yes.
So we have an audience who may not have a degree in finance. So
yes.
Beta of, where do you find the beta?
Okay. So if you go to Yahoo Finance or your watch, you can look at some of the stats, and beta is one of the stats on there. So you just look for beta. If it's over 1, then you know that it's a risky stock. That's just the simplest way to say it. If it's under 1, it's less risky. So you try to have an average. So if one stock is 1.5 on the beta and another stock is 0.5, there's your average of 1.
Yeah. But the risk is where the money is, right?
Yes. So risk is where the money is. But you have to make sure you take an assessment test. So there's a questionnaire. You go through the questionnaire, and at the end, it tells you.
Where's the questionnaire?
I can drop that.
See?
I can drop that.
Okay.
If you go to my Instagram page, it's actually on one of my posts. So I kind of explain what the questionnaire is about and go through the results. And so it tells you if you're an aggressive investor or a moderate, or you just want to hedge inflation.
Mm-hmm. There you go with those terms again. Hedging inflation, meaning?
Inflation, the value.
No, not inflation, but when you hedge inflation, what does that mean?
So for instance, if you put money in a savings account, right, you're probably not going to get anywhere between 1 or 3%.
Inflation typically is 2%.
Inflation, 2%, 3%, sure, yes.
Yeah.
And if you were to put your money in a savings account or under the mattress or in a safe, you're not gaining any interest on your money.
So you're not hedging inflation if you do that.
You're not hedging inflation if you are
right.
your money in a savings account.
Right. All right. I just want to make sure that our audience knows what you're talking about, the terms you're using, so we bring them along in the conversation. Someone said, how much would someone invest to even make a profit? That's an interesting question. So how would you answer that?
I mean, you start with $100. You know, you can find a great stock. So for instance, let's use Palantir as an example. If I had $100 and I bought, 5 shares and it went from 20 to 30, I'm at $50. I mean, that's just as simple. I mean, you can start with $100.
I think you got to start with the end in mind, is what I would tell anyone. How much money do you want to make? Right?
Yes.
What do you want the outcome to be? That determines how much you want to invest and in which stock you're going to invest. Would you agree?
Yeah, but my thing is, if you're starting out with $0, the thing that I would tell someone is invest in something that you believe in. Invest in a company that you believe in the product. So for instance, I love Apple. So I'm going to invest in Apple. Apple's been around before I was born. So you're gonna see a return on your investment. And what you do is you just, you put a limit to what you want to deposit into your account, and you do a dollar cost average. So with that being said, if you bought the stock at 125 and the stock went down to 120, and you buy it again that week at the 120, that's going to give you an average of 122.5. So you just continue the dollar cost average so you can eliminate that risk as well. So you just, whatever you're willing to throw in every single week or every other week, start off with $100.
Yeah.
Or 50.
Great questions, guys. Keep them coming. What other questions do you have?
How do you guys feel about lemonade? How much would someone invest to make a profit? And lemonade as in?
Be more specific with your question. Sorry, when you asked about lemonade? Lemonade insurance or? Not sure.
That's the only lemonade that I know, but we could be talking about. No, I'm just playing. Isn't it more risk? Isn't it more risk, more reward? Yeah, in some instances, but it just depends on your risk. What risk are you willing to take? How much are you willing to lose? Now,
you can't have the jitters and play the stock market, right? You can't be looking at it every day and trying to. You give yourself a heart attack because it's going to go up and down. You have to play the long game to some extent, right?
Yeah, that's right. So, that's why you invest in companies that have been around for a long time and have had a great track record, and they produce great products. There's an upside and innovation, and Amazon. Amazon's going to be around for a long time. Like I mentioned, Google, that's going to be around for a long time. Apple. Stocks like that. I mean, that's not a risk to me. If you invest in an ETF or a mutual fund, which is also similar to an ETF.
Yeah.
I don't see.
So what do you think about Airbnb getting an IPO?
I mean, yeah, Airbnb is a great service. I use it all the time. The thing about when new IPOs come out, there's always a significant drop in price. So I try to see where it is in the next couple of months. What kind of earnings are you going to report? What's your beta? Things like that. Because Snowflake did the same thing, and as you know, Snowflake, it crashed, and now they're trying to get that resistance now. So I'm going to
Got it.
from it.
So your advice on new IPOs is to hold off, see what happens, see how it shakes out before you start investing in it.
Of course.
Is that what I heard?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Good advice. I have the smarter half here with me on the show today. So any questions you guys have about finance, about generational wealth, about investing, let's get a little bit into real estate. So thoughts on real estate, thoughts on REITs, things like that. Hang on, we have one more question first. It is an insurance company.
Yeah.
Lemonade Insurance. Okay, I thought so. I have no thoughts on Lemonade. Do you? We'd have to do some research on it.
I have to do some research on Lemonade stock. Right now, I'm involved in electric vehicles and tech. So I'm not investing in Lemonade at the moment, but I'll check into it. Appreciate that.
Yeah. I also look at, one other thing I look at also is how many people are buying the stock. What's the volume, right?
Yeah.
So if it's low volume, then it's probably not a good stock, right? But it's like supply and demand. It's the same thing with stocks. Go ahead, your opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that, but then you start thinking about the penny stocks. So there's not a lot of value.
Well,
yeah.
That's the exception to the rule, or it can be, right? So, and I got to tell you, I made a pretty penny with a penny stock this summer, and it got me through the whole coronavirus furlough thing. So, don't throw shade on the penny stocks.
You should have let me know.
All right. Anyway, I love me a good penny stock. So, let's talk about REITs. Let's talk about real estate, that sort of thing. Thoughts on that?
Real estate, super important if you are trying to build wealth, establish your net worth. At the moment, I launched a company by the name of Incline Development Group, and we are in the process of renovating a home in Dallas. So that's something that I'm actively trying to do, taking my construction background and applying it to real estate, merging my contacts, and trying to get involved, renovate homes, and also build up, impoverished communities. That's one of my passions. If I can, try to give economic growth to Northeast Houston, where we're from. So,
yeah, that's great. Without gentrifying it.
Without gentrifying it, because
right.
And I know this is off topic, but it really starts with education. And if you can educate people in the community and also give them trades or introduce them to trades there's a community college down the street. If the residents in that community got involved with the college, they could, get into the workforce with HVAC trade or welding lab trade and make anywhere from $40,000 to $60,000. And that's something that we should do in those communities. So whenever...
Now, dispel this myth. I feel like real estate is for old money. I'm not sure what he means by that, but here you are, not even 30 years old, and you're investing in real estate.
Yes. So it doesn't take that much to own a home. If I agree, let me know how I can get involved. Awesome. That'd be great. I would love to collab with you, Jeff. That'd be awesome. But yeah, it doesn't take that much to get involved in real estate. But I would say, first things first. Do you have a safety net? Do you have an established savings account, at least up to 6 months saved up of all expenses? Are you in debt? If you're in debt, pay off your debts. If you're not in debt and you have savings account, there's nothing wrong with investing in real estate. It's easy to get a mortgage if you have a credit score of at least 660 and up. Some people will work with you even with a credit score of 600. And as of right now, the rates are so low. I would try to get involved if you're renting and you have enough cash, especially if you're in the military. Those VA programs are amazing. Sometimes you don't have to pay any closing costs. You can just roll it into the mortgage payment. So investing in real estate is not hard at all, and I would definitely count your primary home as a real estate investment.
Yeah, it is a seller's market in the Northeast. Just so you know, there is a flight happening in the big cities like New York City. People are flooding, going to Virginia and places like that, and so the reverse is happening here. So it's a bit of a seller's market.
Gotcha.
What about REITs?
Yeah, REITs. I mean, REITs are a good play. Like I said, it eliminates a liability of maintenance. You invest into the debt or the equity.
Tell our audience what that is, if you don't mind.
Real estate investment traded fund. So you can use, like I said, Fundrise is a great account where you can get involved with REITs. You sign up. You can start out with $1,000 and you invest in multiple properties within that. Sorry, I'm losing battery here. So yeah, check out Fundrise, the Fundrise website. You can start out with $1,000. I've made, at least 10% every single year. And what about multifamily properties? That's a cash cow right there. That you could get I was seeing on HAR, they had a multifamily for anywhere from, I think it was like $250. You put, you put families in there, 4 families. You charge them, $1,000. You're paying off that mortgage, and then you're also making a profit. Multifamily properties is the way to go. Apartments as well.
Good question, Jeff.
There's actually
What's that?
There's actually an apartment complex off of Lockwood and Tronewood that I'm looking.
Oh, really?
I want to eventually. I want to own that one day.
I'm sure you will. I have no doubt. I heard that you're losing battery life on your phone. So, listen, we could talk all night about this kind of stuff, and I appreciate you coming on Thanksgiving Eve. Just want to tell you and your new wife, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. I hope you have a blessed day tomorrow. I love you. Take care of yourself, and I wish you all the best. Okay.
Thank you, Father. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, and I love you.
Okay. All right. Take care of yourself, son.
All right.
All right. All right, guys, that's it for this edition of the Morning Huddle. We'll be back on next week. Join us then. Otherwise, have a great Thanksgiving. Take